Wow, if I could pick one artist, dead or alive, that I could write for, I'm gonna take that question and switch it a little bit. I would love to write with Marvin Gaye. I think he was one of the most cutting edge artists in terms of where he went in the latter part of his career, whereas though he was a very commercial artist in the beginning. As he evolved as an artist, he went on to write What's Going On, a whole album that talked about the world and what wasn't cool to talk about at that time, you know? From the commercial side to the soulful side to the Ain't That Peculiar to the Heard It Through the Grapevines to the, you know what I mean? I would love to just see his process of writing. What constitutes the title of King of R&B? Well, I think first of all, we all know who that is without being said, you know what I mean? And I think what that embodies is, you know, a catalog, consistency. It embodies great showmanship. It embodies the fact that you can touch hearts. You can do R&B on so many different levels. You can make songs to make love to. You can make songs to make people think and make people, you can touch people's hearts and change their emotions on so many different levels, and you've done it time and time and time again. I think that's something that has to be achieved over a long amount of time. R&B for me has always been a competitive sport. For some people it may just be becoming that, but I feel like we call this the game, and in any game you playing to win. And when you playing to win, it's obviously people that you playing to beat. So the way I think of it, and I use this metaphor often, is that, you know, I think of myself as a horse. You know what I mean? When horses are running on the track, they got them blinders on. Like, and where it may be a bunch of other horses left and right, they don't see those horses. They just focus on their race. Ready is full of great work, great composers, artists, writers, and producers. We're gonna start with artists. Of course, Success was on the album with a new verse for myself. It's actually the version we shot the video for. Another record with Drake that is entitled Invented Sex, produced by Los. We got Fabulous on the album, Gucci Mane and Soulja Boy, of course, from LOL Smiley Face. We got great production, Stargate, who produced my first Grammy-nominated record, Can't Help But Wait, as well as Jonte Austin, who co-executive produced the whole album. Troy Taylor, who's been with me from day one. Eric Hudson, Brian Michael Cox, Chris Henderson. A lot of great folks, B Major, Soul Keys, a lot of great guys. As far as favorites, I think I have a few, you know, because when you make an album, it's like your baby. It's like you have, like, as a father, you got to pick between your children. So it changes from day to day. My favorite right now would be Your Side of the Bed, which is basically a Purple Rain inspired track. The topic of the record is basically when you're in a relationship, when you're dealing with someone you love, you spend the bulk of your time with them when y'all lay it down to go to sleep, whether you make love, whether you argue, whether you whatever the situation may be, you both have y'all side of the bed. You know what I mean? And when you lose that love, whether they going to the club for the night, whether they going for the week on vacation, whether y'all got into an argument, they sleeping on the couch, whatever the situation may be, when they're not there, you miss them being on their side of the bed. Well, Ready's very important to me right now, of course. It's been a 2-year hiatus since my last album, so I'm very focused on that. We got the tour coming up, and after that, I'm taking my first major step into the acting world, which I'm very proud of. Will Smith's production company, Overbrook, has offered me a great role. I'm gonna take it very seriously. It's a movie entitled Brotherly Love, and I'm very excited about it. So that'll be the first step for me, and hopefully I'll evolve into that world. And other things, of course, investments and fashion, of course, I would love to take a step into. But with the fashion world, it's very picky. You gotta make sure you do that thing right. So I've been taking my time with it. Drake and I actually had a conversation about making a movie. You know what I mean? We don't know what it's gonna be about or none of that. We just was like, we was actually on the set of Successful, and it just felt so surreal when we were shooting the video, and the chemistry so real with us. We were just talking, and he was like, man, we should shoot a movie. Like, let's do it, you know? So soon enough, maybe Bad Boys, you know what I mean, a New World Order or something. So that'll be cool. the wildest, and it probably wouldn't even come off as wild. It's probably the most memorable at this point for me. Very recent, actually, coming out in Toronto with Drake and Wayne, and it was actually right after he had tore his ACL again. You know, in Toronto, they weren't expecting him to come out, and furthermore, you know, Drake and our relationship goes so far back as to like 2006. Knowing neither one of us would know that at the peaks of our career we would have a record entitled Successful, when 2.5 years ago we both had a record called Underdog. You know what I mean? So the metaphorical point of that, stepping on the stage when he got his cane, you know what I mean? Wayne is there, I'm there, and he's at home, and they going crazy like that. I would say that was definitely the most memorable. Now, wild, that's something else. Successful is whatever you perceive to be in your heart, whatever you envision success as. A lot of people, I think, we get caught up in what the world's perception of us is. You know what I mean? We're thinking we have to be this in order to be successful. People have to view me as this to be successful. When in turn, success could be being a proud father. You know, success could be taking care of your wife. Success could be, for me, I support my mother, I support my younger brother. That's success. You know, having realized my dream and living my dream is success. You know what I mean? So I think we should not let success be determined by other people's standards or other people's views. So I think it's whatever you feel in your heart it is for you.